Hello, and welcome to my virtual symposium presentation. My name is Heather Osborne, and I'm going to take you through a virtual tour of my experience learning about various aspects of the hyperlinked library this semester. I first became aware of the hyperlinked library model in my first semester at San Jose State when taking Info 204, Information Professions. I read Professor Stevens' chapter on hyperlinked libraries in Information Services Today and was particularly struck by this quote: "Hyperlinked library services are born from the constant, positive, and purposeful adaptation to change that is based on thoughtful planning and grounded in the mission of libraries." As I noted in my original blog post for the class, if you can't get used to change, you will for sure get used to frustration and futility, as change will happen regardless of how you feel about it. Change is constant. Change is inevitable. It is how you choose to deal with change that matters. In a hyperlinked library model, change and feedback are accepted, solicited, and managed in such a way as to progress the mission and goals of both the library and the community it serves. As I note in my first blog post for the class, there are so many aspects to the hyperlinked library model, not least of which is innovative technology, user experience, and physical design of the spaces to best serve emerging technology and the ways in which the community engages with it. But at its very core is the concept of acceptance and adaptation to change, and willingness to solicit and accept both positive and negative feedback from all members of the community the library serves. Learning about hyperlinked communities really struck a chord with me. As I noted in my blog, it reminded me of the information community I chose to write about in Info 200, the online romance reading community. It's a sad fact that romance readers often encounter narrow-minded, judgmental people as they attempt to procure more books to read. And yes, that does include librarians and library employees who may roll their eyes or make rude comments to readers asking for books. A hyperlinked library should be a judgment-free zone, and thanks to new trends such as patron-driven acquisition and the hyperlinked library model, acceptance and welcome for readers of all types and genres are becoming more common. Becoming a gathering place both in person and online can only begin if there is genuine welcome. Libraries exist to be used, and in order to draw patrons, libraries need to exude welcome and acceptance to all. As I noted in my blog post about hyperlinked communities, in order to foster a feeling of togetherness and community among a wide range of readers, or even all media users, all genres should be treated with equal enthusiasm and respect. The kid looking for a great comic book or video game to check out should be treated the same as the one looking for the complete works of Shakespeare. In the horizontal model of the hyperlinked library, all books, all media, should be treated as equal. As I am planning to focus on public libraries, and particularly community events planning within a public library environment after I graduate, learning about the hyperlinked public library model was of particular interest to me. I love the idea of the library as a house of access rather than a house of learning. Learning can certainly be a result of the access, but the access is the true goal. Technological access is a big necessity for communities, and a part of that trend is the proliferation of makerspaces in public libraries. Providing access to both technical and creative resources, makerspaces help foster the sense of community that the hyperlinked library wants to achieve. Because of how well the idea of makerspaces fits in with the hyperlinked public library, I went looking for more articles on the subject and found one by Deborah Fallows entitled "How Libraries Are Becoming Modern Makerspaces." In it, she includes the following statement that I think encapsulates the library as a house of access, the Foursquare model, and the makerspace movement. Makerspaces are part of libraries' expanded mission to be places where people can not only consume knowledge, but create new knowledge. When learning about mobile learning environments, I found myself brainstorming ways in which libraries could take advantage of mobile trends in order to increase outreach and awareness of their services. Libraries exist to be used, and the manner in which it can be used is changing as rapidly as technology. Looking at the ways in which my young nieces and nephews interact with media today versus the way I interact with it, it is truly a whole new world. And part of our duty as librarians is to, if not be on the cutting edge of new technology, to at least be aware of it. And while I myself am not a super early adapter of technology, one trend I did grab onto early is the game Pokemon Go. Seeing the power of this mobile game in action, it gave me tons of ideas on how libraries might become involved. Many library locations are Pokestops in the game, allowing them to participate directly with lure parties, for example. Pokemon Go has already shown themselves willing to host tie-ins with events such as Earth Day, for example. What if we could coordinate with them for an event like World Library Day or National Library Week, where a special Pokemon only shows up at library Pokestops? That type of collaboration could do wonders for libraries across the globe. The module about infinite learning was especially thought-provoking to me. People often seem resistant to the idea of continuing education and studies, but rarely do you hear people denouncing the idea of learning. With the creative ways in which libraries are encouraging learning through various demonstrations, classes, and crafts, the main goal seems to be fun, with learning a happy side effect to it. As I note in my blog post, my mom taught week-long mini camps in the summer when I was a kid. Ostensibly lessons on cooking science and photography, they were actually fun, hands-on demos that the kids loved. They had no idea they were learning. The fun was the most important part to them. In today's trends of snappy Facebook videos of fast, easy recipes, crafts, and life hacks, we can see the long history of helpful hints that came before them. People have always craved new knowledge and help with dealing with everyday problems and duties. By disguising helpful advice as fun and snappy videos, we are simply repackaging knowledge in a way that makes sense for the younger, more tech-savvy generation. Finally, last but definitely not least, my self-directed research into ideas for my director's brief led me to the Ideas Box, a portable library system developed for use in refugee camps all over the globe. A modular system that fits on 2 wooden pallets and 6 boxes, the Ideas Box transforms into a 1,000-square-foot library, complete with tablets, ebook readers, laptops, internet access, a generator, an HDTV, books, DVDs, and tables and chairs. Additionally, it takes only 4 people 20 minutes to assemble it. In my opinion, an Ideas Box is the perfect companion to a hyperlinked library system. It can be used for community outreach at various conferences, conventions, farmers markets, fairs, and other community events. It can also be put to use during times of natural disaster for displaced communities. Looking at an event like the devastating Camp Fire in Northern California, where an entire community was forced to evacuate, something like the Ideas Box could be brought directly to a shelter or camp and set up immediately to help people contact loved ones, fill out FEMA paperwork, escape their situation through entertainment, and much more. The goal of the Hyperlink Library is to encourage and support community engagement, and the Ideas Box does just that. I'll be honest, after a full semester learning about the hyperlinked library model, I still feel as though I've barely scratched the surface of the subject. But as we learned, change is constant in the hyperlinked library world, so it makes sense that we will never stop learning about it. As a future public librarian, so much of this resonated strongly with me, and I hope to continue using this knowledge in my future career.